Hey guys, Stealth here. Welcome back to Transport Fever. If in case you missed the previous episode, that was the first look I had at the game. In that first look episode, I created a transport route between this oil well and this refinery down here to the southeast. From that refinery, I'm now taking the finished fuel towards the town of Worcester. Now, as some of you have pointed out, you don't need to build these large train sections in one go. It makes it really expensive. Thank you guys for that advice. I now know what to do, or now know what not to do. Because with that information, I now know that it's far cheaper to build train stations or train sections in smaller elements. So that's definitely something I'll be looking into. What I want to do this episode is expand the railroad capacity that I have here, in the sense that my transport capacity currently is 33 units of crude oil. There's already 45 waiting, and it seems that production is only cranking up for this oil well. You can see it's 64, 66, it seems to be fluctuating right around there. Even with the train going back, there is still a lot of oil left. So what I want to look into is see if I can upgrade this train and get it to be able to transport a bit more units of fuel. The problem that I have for that is that the cheapest fuel vehicle, which is, or actually the cheapest fuel transporter, which I believe is this tank car, is costing me more than I currently have in the bank. Now, I can just wait for my train to make a few more trips, but so far it barely generates a profit. Look at that, the vehicles get about 20k a year, and my train gets 226k. That's the only positive balance I've made so far. Keep in mind that this positive balance is going to be influenced a lot by the cost that I had for this route. It is not cheap to run this route because I had to create the whole route, and it's going to probably take a few in-game years to get this thing profitable. So if I can transport a bit of this stuff faster, then that would probably help me. Now, this train unit that I have over here right now, the train 1 route, it's not very effective. It's just, I believe, the Baldwin. Maximum speed is 60. It does get up to that speed. If I can get the Atlantic for 1.73 million, that's going to require quite a big loan to afford that. I can then get a lot more transport capability and more speed. And speed is key in this game, at least it seems to be. The faster you can get something from A to B, the faster you can make sure that something gets you money. And that is, of course, quite significant. So what I could do is recall this train 1 and let it make one more trip. Unfortunately, it seems that the oil well is almost drying up. There's 21 units of fuel left. 21 units of oil, I should say, not fuel. It seems almost that this production is falling. Now, I'm not exactly sure why that is. You can see that in 1900, the fuel production or the oil production was about 80, let's say 78, something in that range. And over the years, it is falling. We're almost at the end of 1905, so I am getting a bit worried about the amount of oil that this thing can still put out. With that in mind, I'm not sure if I want to continue to invest in this train route. So let's have a look at some other capabilities or some other options. What I could do is get some more vehicles to start transporting the fuel, because there is far more fuel here than these things can transport. They only transport 6, so I could probably get at least one more vehicle in order to get the units to transport a bit more, have the line transport a bit more, I should say, not just this single unit. It's still more or less making a profit. Let's see how I'm doing fiscally. I have lost 80 grand last year, and I'm losing 17 grand this year. I haven't bought any units. I haven't bought any additional train tracks or anything. So construction cost and vehicle cost is nothing. My profit is, or my total is still fluctuating, but I think that continuing with this pattern, it is not going to go positive. So how can I try to get it positive? How can I fight bankruptcy? Because that is starting to worry me. Now, let me just check something here. There. I think that's a bit better, because the audio in this game can be a touch overwhelming, I've seen. Let's see, train line 1 is currently still sitting at 16k profit. It is still in the green. It's probably... There we go. I just paid another bit of service costs. And I'm quite worried about the servicing costs. They keep going up. There we go. Just got... Look at that. 1903. It got 230k profit. 44, 40, 78. So we're doing quite well. Yeah, I'm going to add a few vehicles there. Unfortunately, I still don't have any modern units available. I still got the horse cart, the stagecoach, and the steam lorry. This is what I'm using right now, which is really not that good of a vehicle. It is really quite bad. And the problem is, I can invest in that route, but if this thing does dry up, the production's going to sink. With the production going down, I then run into the issue of having too many vehicles transporting it to Worcester. You know what, I'm just going to have a look at the situation over the next couple of, let's say, months or years in game. What I'm going to be looking at is this situation here. Because right now we have a population of 182 and we have more jobs than that. Because I am supplying multiple industrial requirements. I have this fuel, which is currently the majority. I can also provide construction material and machines. Let's see if I can provide any of those. And preferably on the cheap, because I would prefer it very much if I did not have to take out a loan for that. Not likely, because for 475k you can barely afford anything. Okay, coal. Nope, this is pretty much the higher level stuff. They need coal and they need iron ore, and they're going to produce steel and slag. I can send stone or slag here and produce construction materials. The thing is, how do I get slag? Or where do I find iron ore? Because there doesn't seem to be any iron mine nearby. And with a complete lack of iron mines, this whole production area is really fiscally or financially not that interesting. Look at that, New York City. I haven't even seen that. New York City is currently, by the looks of it, very, very far inland. Doesn't even have any islands nearby. Instead, it's quite heavily hilly there. This oil well has produced something, but without any demand. It's currently not producing anything else. Oh, actually, that might be the problem. Production is 56. There we go. It can store 58, or it can potentially store 54. And right now I already have 58, so it is at the production cap, it seems. Hopefully this thing's going to get upgraded, but no upgrade or downgrades are scheduled for the moment. I can influence this if I get a lot of demand for that thing, at least I believe so. Now with Worcester doing quite well in the job department, I could also choose to go for population transport, so basically a passenger line between, say, Colorado Springs and Worcester. It is going to be expensive though. It is relatively flat land throughout the entire route, and I could just opt for a standard ground vehicle to do that, so a road vehicle instead of a train. But they are not very fast. And I am afraid that they're going to take a lot more time than they're going to be generating. So they're not going to be profitable. A couple of unemployeds here. How are you doing on population? 212 versus 229. So once again, it seems that we have a lack of population for the amount of jobs. Is that becoming a pattern? 218, 225. We have a tight job market here. Abilene, 190, 191, so that's looking good. Jersey, 250. We got an overpopulation here as compared to the amount of jobs that they have. Other things that I'm looking at. This builds planks. I don't think that... No, the town doesn't need planks. I'm looking where I can deliver these planks. Potentially in a factory which produces production materials from it or goods. But of course there's none of those either. There we go. This thing needs planks and plastic or planks and steel to provide goods. And I think that a town... Yep, the commercial area does need goods. But in order to get this thing operational, I will also need to provide either plastic or steel. Steel comes from iron ore and I believe slag or coal. So that's not really going to happen anytime soon either. This thing produces stone. That's another wood saw. It's a farm. It produces both grain and livestock. And in order to get this thing operational, I need to send that to a factory. A food factory, which... Where the hell is that stuff? This is a pretty terrible map. I am going pretty much broke though. Look at that, minus 190k. My running costs are terrible. And the running costs are mostly provided by the railroad. And it's only getting worse. Alright, I'm gonna take out one bit of a loan. It's probably gonna turn me broke even faster because I'm going to pay more interests, but I just need a bit of time. Let's pause the game and have a look. We have the stone and the slag producing construction materials. See, here's my problem. Everything that I need is too far apart. This one, for example, requires stone or slag. I can provide stone pretty easily, and it's going to turn that into construction material. But then I need to get that to, for example, either Hartford, which is going to require 69 units, or Burbank, which is going to require 56. But it's another significant investment. If I would want to go for planks and then goods, I need to create a very, very long transport route from any of these wood facilities. So it's going to take a long time to get stuff from A to B, and it's going to take a massive investment. Now, I want to have a look at my train, because my train is running quite expensively. Its running costs are about 300,000 a year. Let's see if I can change that by getting a different train. This one is the one that I'm using right now. That is the Mogul. Running costs 162k. However, I also have a couple of these tank cars, which also run for a bloody 96k per year. They do have a lifespan of 45 years, but it is quite an expensive unit. How about going for any of these? Oh, that's only going to get it worse. Look at that, 288k per year. How's the production here? 7. How's my train? How much are you carrying? 21 out of 33. Ooh. I may need to go back to the depot and just sell one of my cars. Let's do that. That should generate a bit of money and kill off production costs or running costs by another 100k. So I need you to drop off your current freight. Thank you. Go back to the depot. Or the depot, depends on your pronunciation there. And I want to sell one of these. Leaves me a capacity of 26. How much is stored? 10. Ouch. Stored 58. why is it not being delivered to the station? Because the station is in the influence zone, or otherwise the oil well is in the influence sphere of the station. I don't need to pick it up and just transport it here with a vehicle, do I? Because that would be another investment that I really don't want to make. Alright, continue back on Route 1 with your capacity of 26. I am going to run a test here. I just want to see what the problem is. So I'm going to be running a very short production, or a very short transport route between this thing and my train station. Let's see if that fixes the problem. Never mind. This wouldn't make sense. See, if I would place this thing over here and then transport it over there, it would cost me about 40k or 50k in sheer production costs or building costs, and then I'd have to get a depot or a depot, so another, let's say, 12 to 15k. But I'd be transporting it about 50 meters? That's just ridiculous. Does it have something to do with the road? Speed limit 20. If I want to upgrade this road. Terrain alignment collision. Fantastic. This one provides a speed of 40. But the terrain is in the way. Let's see. Again, this is just a test game, so anything can go wrong. And let's just... Actually, I'm going to rephrase that. Everything will go wrong. It's just that likely to go wrong. Construction not possible. Let's build one section. Ugh, really? I hope that I can still get this thing connected. Probably not. Can I do terrain adjustments? Lower the terrain here? That is expensive business right there. I need to find a way to connect this road. Yes, that's it. And then the other part, I don't care about this area. This is not something that I need to particularly worry about. There we go. Hopefully with a faster road, it's going to get delivered to the train station faster. But that's just a theory. I'm not sure if this is actually how it works. 46, 44 production, 11 waiting, 12. Because here's my theory. With a bigger road that allows for faster transport, I can get the stuff delivered to the train station a bit faster. That's the standing theory. And having it delivered here faster means that the train can pick up more, I can invest more in my train, and then with that I can expand the train, expand the rail network, expand my company. That's the standing theory. There's my train. Has a capacity of 26. There's only 15 in store. So that is not too much. It's carrying 16 out of 26, so I could potentially take off another cart. Another wagon. As for this area, it now has 40, almost 44 stored up. Wow. And the depot is getting quite full here. Look at that. That's all fuel. It seems that they're getting delivered in small things first, and then you finally get a large fuel tank. 42. Is that line still profitable? Yeah, barely. 18k. How is this line doing now? Service costs. Running costs are 308,000 a year. And that's because I'm paying significantly more as this vehicle gets older. You see, a vehicle that gets older needs more maintenance. So it's already 9 years old. And that means that the vehicle just continues to break down more often and continues to just get more and more and more expensive. I can, however, sell it for 1 million. Let's run another test. If I get the other train, this one has a service life of 40 years. This one also has a service life of 40 years, so that doesn't really help me. I was hoping that this thing would have a longer service life, or a longer lifespan, and with that be less expensive. Unfortunately, no such thing. What I'm gonna do is replace my older cars, because unfortunately I cannot quite see what the expense of those vehicles is. And then hope that I can have a little bit lower service costs there. Alternatively, if I sell the vehicle now, I get 1 million in return. If I buy another one... never mind, I'm selling the vehicle and all of its attached carts. So all of its units that are currently being tugged along are also going to get sold. Okay, not good. Alright. This train. I want to get rid of these old things. Now it has a running cost of 232,000 a year, but can only transport 12. How much is waiting for me here? 11. If I buy one more, I'll have a transport capacity of 24, which I think I can afford. Because once I have that, I then have, by the time that I get there, another bit of stuff waiting for me. So let's hope that this works. Assign to line 1. And again, I just consider this to be one base large experiment. Let's buy a few road vehicles more. Let's go with some steam lorries, and I want to assign all of these to line 2. Get them to help out with diminishing the fuel here, because there is a lot waiting. Capable of transporting 24, there's 16 waiting. Come on, oil well. Hurry up. Hurry up. Try to ship more crude oil. I would love to, but there's just not enough stuff waiting. Do I really need to buy another wagon and try to keep that thing going that way? Because I really don't like that. In the meanwhile, I hope to be able to generate a bit more profit with this line, although it is not likely to ever start compensating for my other line. I am already going negative with the bank. Minus 30,000. It's going to help a little bit when that train arrives. I should be in the green once again. Oh, but only just. Only just. 44. Still 29 units waiting there. Income from road. Last year 40 grand. Costs for the road 20 grand. So the road is definitely making a profit. It's just 20 grand a year. That's really, really nothing. So with the additional vehicles, the road might generate a bit more, but it's also going to cost me a bit more. But overall, I should be making a slightly larger profit. How are you doing on finances? Yeah, you generated $7,000 last year. It's not too bad. How much is waiting right now? Oh, now there's more than the train can handle? Nope. It's just being delivered after the train gets there. Fantastic. It seems that the potential storage does get slightly larger, I believe. No, actually, it used to be 54, didn't it? It used to be 54. How much is waiting? 11, 12. Yeah, we're not doing very well. Okay, so I need to find a profitable line very, very quickly, or I'm basically screwed. Basically very, very screwed. How is Worcester doing on jobs? Still not fantastic. Considering just taking out a loan, and I mean a large loan, and transport passengers between Worcester and Colorado Springs, it's gonna get expensive though. I can tell you that. It's gonna get really, really expensive. This is 600k. Let's say I need another 600k to get to Colorado Springs. You know what? Screw it. Let's do it. Take out a massive loan. I now have 3 million spending money. Make sure that this is a passenger thing. And park it somewhere on the edge of town. Preferably as cheaply as possible. There we go. 99. Does that influence a decent portion of the town? Not really. 651k if I want to have it in the middle of town. Get out. That is way too expensive. Alright, then we're just going to have to park it on the edge here and just start collecting passengers inside the town using just standard ground vehicles. Standard road units. Alright. So we need to make this thing in pretty short bursts to keep it affordable. I don't want to lose too much along the lines of speed. What? I cannot make a crossing? Get out. Sure I can. There we go. I'm trying to not have too much in the sense of curving along this track, because I want this track to survive for basically ages. And with it, I can exploit the track when I have trains that actually go 120. I want to get that far. How expensive does that get? 120 still at full speed there. And now it's basically a full stretch towards Colorado. Or what was it? Yeah, Colorado Springs. Stop it here. And then take another station. And let's see. What would be a good position? Let's say that they're going to build houses all over the place. I want to potentially take that track, make it longer, and reach all the way into Laredo. Because I'm sure as hell not going to build a tunnel to New York City. So keeping it on the edge of town would probably be the best option for me right now. So let's say somewhere here. And I'm going to be building a depot, correction, basically bus stops to keep it supplied. Okay, so there's my railroad. Next order of business is to build a depot. Gotta make sure I can actually get trains there. I want to keep that a little ways on the outside of town so that the town can grow around the station. And let's say we're going to keep it right about, preferably flat land, I gotta add. There. There's that lined up. Yes, good. Okay. So now we have the capability of adding a new line here. Next up, before I ever send my first train there, I want to have the capacity of picking up passengers. We're going to have a few stops, making sure that most of the town is covered. So let's say one over there. One here. Hoping that the town is going to grow into that direction. One over there. And one stop there. That's going to be a new line. Oh, damn, I forgot my train station. Silly. I need to make sure that they can actually get both deposited or picked up at the train station. So, line 3 at stations. We're going to start at the train station. Move on to this one. That area is still being constructed. I might still pick up that thing later. There, that one. There. Now I have a route through Colorado Springs. I'm going to add one depot here. Could have that right next to the train station. It doesn't mind. There we go. Buy road vehicles. Now, it's going to be a question if I'm going to use stagecoaches here, which have a capacity of 5 and move at 18 top speed, or go for the Mack. Can transport a few more guys, has a speed of no less than 25 kilometers per hour. Yes, it's 1910, what do you expect? Running costs almost 8 grand. So, they have almost double the transport capacity, but they're also faster. And I like speed on this one, so I'm going to buy one of these and assign that one on line 3. And I'm actually going to, before I forget, change the name of that line. Let's call this the Colorado. Whoops. Yes, can I type here? That'd be wonderful. Colorado Springs transport. Let's say passenger line. Passenger. Okay, whatever. Okay, adjust this. C Springs. Passenger line. That's one. Moving back towards Worcester. Worcester is also going to have its own passenger line. Unfortunately, I can probably use the depot that's over here to transport or to buy a couple of vehicles that I can then send into Worcester. So, one will cover this area. Can have one cover this area. So he's going to start there, make a loop. Let's say turn around. Go here. Then, would that be reasonable, dropping them off here? That's not in the influence sphere of the station. Okay. And then finally, that one. New line. We're going to start here. Move this way. Whoops. Oh, never mind. This is going to get adjusted, of course. That one. And that one. So it's going to make a nice loop throughout town. And this is Worcester passenger line. Now the idea behind this one is that this one is going to drop off passengers at the train station who then need to find their way towards Colorado Springs. That's the train's duty. The train picks up the passengers, drops them off there, and then they take another Mack transport and using that one get to where they need to be. It's only going to take them 10 days, so that should be an easy trip. We're going to send this one on a passenger line 2. And the last piece of work that I need to do is create a new line. We're going to set up the train station, that station, that one, and that one. And the vehicle that I'm going to assign to that is going to still be bought by trains. Let's go for speed and let's say future expansion for this one. So I'm going to buy a, well, speed. Maximum speed 75 versus 100. I like this one because it's faster, but it probably also has way too much power. So let's go for the middle ground area. Passenger car, capacity 16 passengers or 14 passengers, but it cannot go as fast as the vehicle can, so I'm going to have to buy this one. That's it. And you are going to be assigned to line 3. Okay. I think we're all done. Let's get going. Got an award or an achievement for first bus stop. Let's have a look. There's my bus. Road vehicle number 7. Very creatively named. Buy a bus and run a line. Another achievement. Is that really an achievement? Okay then. I wonder if there are any people waiting. I don't believe so. Not yet. It usually takes a bit of time before people realize that they have the capacity to join a bus track or to make use of a bus track. So for a while this thing is just going to continue to drive around empty. And probably going to cost me money. Oh, we got passengers waiting. Where be that? They are waiting somewhere. No idea where, and for some reason the game doesn't really indicate that either. Ah, crap, I'm producing not enough fuel. How are we doing here? Decent amount waiting. Oh, my money is doing so bad. This train is not going to be doing anything for a while. Yep, now we got passengers here. There's one person waiting for the Worcester passenger line. And another one there. How are we doing up north? Yep, we got someone waiting on the train. 2 people, actually. Wow, we're actually getting somewhere. Albeit slowly. How's this bus doing? 2 passengers out of 9. Just ignored that bus stop completely. There we go. Drop off. Yep, 663. First passenger transported. That means we now have 3 people waiting here. 4 even. Here's the train. All aboard. 5 out of 16 passengers are now aboard the train. Time to make speed. It is taking a long time to accelerate. And actually, and this is what I find a bit silly. The game... Look at this. It's now May 24th, alright? This train is moving at 67 kph. It's now May 26th, 27th, and it's still trying to accelerate. So, it's taking this train multiple days to accelerate. Now, I know of mammoth tankers who are taking a lot of time to get up to speed. But a train taking several days to get going? That is something that is new to me. That is not something I've seen before. And I gotta say, I am still not doing very well in the money department. Actually, I'm probably progressively doing worse on the money department. 28k? That's it? Son, I have running costs of 140,000 a year. And still going up. And you're paying me 28 to get you across this vast expanse that takes my train several days to accelerate? Are you for real? 6 out of 16 transports, or passengers. Oh, 10. Well, there's at least more and more people waiting in Colorado. How's the bus lines? Sea Springs is negative, Worcester is negative. Fantastic. Just imagine those things actually going up. 34,000. 9 out of 16 passengers there. Just imagine being a passenger here, alright? Humor me.
Hey.
You're this guy. Or girl, I cannot even quite see. He, she, it, whatever it identifies as, wants to go to work. And normally when I go to work, which, well, I work at home, so it's not very far from me, but you're going to be waiting on the train. Alright? You're going to be waiting. For days. She started waiting December 7th, I think. She's now been waiting a week. Now she's been waiting 2 weeks. 3. 4. Now she's been waiting a month. She's still waiting to get to work, alright? She's still waiting to get to work. This is getting ridiculous. She's now been waiting 2 months. Started waiting December 7th, keep up. Bloody hell. Car owner, no. Well, I'll believe that. Move preference, fast. You've been waiting 3 months to get to work, dear. I hope you brought a bag and a bunch of snacks, because you've been waiting here for almost 4 months. Can you imagine that? a train stopping every, oh, I don't know, 2 months instead of, let's say, every hour. It comes by every 2 months. That's just ridiculous. I am, however, more or less breaking even. Well, less, actually. And the amount of passengers here is slowly but steadily going up. So much so that I cannot even transport all the passengers that are waiting. Worcester doesn't have the same problem, though. So I don't need to buy another bit of train car yet. How's my loan interest? 140k a year. Oh, this is getting so expensive. Minus 115k. You can still place your bets and wonder when I'm gonna go broke. It is probably going to be soon, in which case I'll probably start up another series as soon as possible. Gotta say though, the amount of passengers at bus stops is actually not that bad. There's 15 passengers waiting there. My bus can only carry 9. So there's going to be people waiting on the bus, again, for forever, basically. Because this bus, yes, even the bus, takes multiple days to complete its route. How are you doing on transports? Whoops, that's a passenger, I think. Yep, 9 out of 9. Where are all these people going? Because it seems that most of the people inside the bus don't want to get off. Your destination is work. Define work. Where... Yeah, I know it's an industrial building, but where is it? Is that in the next town? Yeah, look at that. This civilian is working in this industrial building. This is one of those guys that takes 4 months to get to work instead of an hour or 2. So that's why my train line could be my salvation. Could be. Because I'm still not doing very well. You know what? Screw it. We're just going to go deeper into debt. Buy me another vehicle. Wait one. And I want to buy another road vehicle. I want to get another Mack. Because we seem to have more passengers than we know what to do with. So you're going to go on the Worcester passenger line. And then for the other depot on the other end. Because here too, I seem to have more people waiting than I can handle. Is that true? Where's the bus? 6 out of 9. That's not too bad. Okay, carry on. And my money situation is continuing degrading. $14 passengers waiting there. Which is not something that the Mack can transport. I gotta say, the Sea Springs and the Worcester passenger line are both positive. They're both making a very, very tiny amount of profit. Same for line 2, and that's the, let's say, the fuel line. Line 3, wow, it made positive. Look at that, we're making money. And now line 1. Line 1 is my oldest line, it's that one. It is... it's more or less getting there. Let's focus on the less, actually. Let's focus on the less. This train is full. Ooh, there's 30 people waiting. No, 24. That's more than I can transport. So at some point we're going to have to buy another car, which I can't afford. Here's a thought. If I scrap this line, line 1, because so far it's only costing me money. If I scrap it, then that gives me the capacity to also scrap line 2, which is barely making any money, and I can still focus mainly on transporting passengers. Yep, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to scrap this one. You get to go make one last trip, and then you're going to get sold off. Hopefully allowing me to send some of my debt back. because I still have a lot of that going on. Hold on, slow to 1 speed. Oh, you're really slow. Good, go home. Because here's the thing, it made 4.72k, but by the time it gets to make another run, it's gonna go back into the negative again, so no thank you. Okay, there's my train. I want to sell this entire vehicle. 1.4 million. This thing is gonna dry up rather quickly. So I want to start selling a few of my vehicles. This one's empty. You can go home. You're still on the way. Are you one of mine? Yep, you are. So we're just going to focus solely on transporting passengers. Repay once. I made positive. Yeah, that's because I sold a massive train. What do you expect? Okay, sell that one. I can sell that one, yes? Yes, there we go. Sold 1, sold 2. Because with this thing out of commission, it's only going to be a little while before it's going to run out of fuel. The city's going to run out of fuel, and I'm just going to focus on passenger transports. Look at that, there's a lot of jobs there though. A lot of jobs. Okay, so I might still be able to salvage this company. If I have enough passengers. Holy hell, talk about passengers. Wow, you folks really want to get to the other side. Okay. Give me another Mac or two. Both of you guys, set to line Worcester passenger line. And then I'm also going to have to expand the train, because the train is currently very, very low in capacity. So you get to go to the depot. I'm not sure where it suddenly dumped 16 passengers, but okay, we'll just say that it did. And hopefully I can still buy one more train car before going broke. I should have started out with this stuff, not the oil industry, because, well, normally the oil industry I'd say is profitable, but apparently not so much. Okay, train's home. Buy a train. Give me another passenger car. Another... Oh, this is a 6-axle. Can transport 18. Price. More than I have. Ooh, this is expensive. Capacity, 32 passengers. Set to line 3. I can completely delete line 1. It doesn't need to exist anymore. So that one's scrapped. Now it's unfortunately first going to go back to this station, but there should be plenty of passengers waiting. There's 25 of them already waiting for my train. And I have a capacity of 32, and there might still come some more passengers. Wow, 32 passengers waiting. Okay. We got work to do. Alright, I'm going to cut the episode here. And we're just going to see if this is actually going to work out. I have my hopes up that this passenger line is going to be profitable. And hopefully there's not going to be a sudden decrease in jobs in Worcester as the amount of fuel going to town dries up. It's not something that I can guarantee, I just hope that it won't go bad. We'll see. So thank you for joining me in this episode of Transport Fever. I hope you had fun. Let me know what your thoughts are, and if you have any good advice, then please give that to me, because I am still new at the game, and any recommendations are very, very much appreciated. Thank you for watching, hope you had fun, and I'll see you soon for more Transport Fever.